Hey there guys, thank you so much for tuning into another video on the Be a Hero Gaming channel where we talk about all things gaming and how to feel good being a hero in your games, but also how to be a hero in real life. I know I've done a ton of videos on this game and I put off a lot of other games so I could get to this because we've been having a ton of fun with this game, but I just wanted to do one more quick video here to talk about the events of the past couple of days here and give you an update. I'm sure most of you know already that the Kickstarter has been canceled. The original Kickstarter for this game, they made a couple of adjustments to their offering, and the great news is that the game is coming back. I'm really excited for that. I can't wait to see what happens with that. And if you haven't heard already, it's going to go live on Tuesday, May 14th at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So set your alarm so when that goes live, you can jump on there and get this game revved back up again. Really excited to see what happens with that. With that said, we just finished another nail biter game of this. Had a lot of fun playing it, and I was noticing, which is pretty obvious, that the more powerful wonders are a lot better to have out than the weaker ones. And I'm not talking about just the power, but their abilities. Anything about the wonder that makes it powerful is much more useful in the game, obviously, to take stones to win the game. The same thing is true with you in real life. The stronger you can be, the more effective you're going to be as a human being and at playing the game of life. And the unfortunate thing is, usually that means some kind of adversity is necessary. In order for us to be strengthened, in order for us to grow, we've got to face a problem or a difficulty that we've never faced before. And that's the way we progress. That's the way we become stronger and grow, whether it's physically or mentally or emotionally. Those things get tried from something difficult, and it forces us to grow. So remember, we want to be looking out for the strong characters to get them out so we can take those stones and win the game. But you also want to make sure that you're being strong in real life so that when you face a problem or difficulty down the road, it's something you faced already before and you can jump at it and get after it. So with that said, I want us to talk about a couple of things about this game that we've enjoyed, a couple of things that we've done to make the game run a little bit smoother. The first thing is that I've never actually done before with a card game is when we finished the game, we started counting our decks to see how many cards we had left over. And we're finding we're getting through about 20 cards in the deck, give or take a few on an average game. Sometimes it's one or two fewer than that. Sometimes it's a few more, just depending on how many cards you decide to draw from your deck and whether someone's denying you a bunch of cards or themselves a bunch of cards. But that's what we're finding. About 20 cards is what we get through on an average game. Now, one of my initial criticisms for the game was tracking things, and that became a little bit challenging for us, but we had these different colored dice laying around that I think I got from Amazon for like $10. And originally we just used those to track our power increases for the cards. But then we realized as we got more used to playing that there were other things that needed to be tracked in the game. So we just assigned a color for the dice for each thing. I don't know why, but I feel like energy should be blue. So we use the blue dice to track our energy. We use the green dice to track how many actions you have left. And that way, as you're playing and you take an action, you can just tick down your energy, tick down your action, go to the next player. We use red dice for a reduction in power. So if anybody gets reduced power, like this fellow over here got down 3, red seems like stop to me, so we use the red dice to show the reduction in power. If there's a permanent increase in power, we use these purple dice just to show that the power's been permanently increased, and we use that for things like the ascend ability on these guys here, which is totally awesome. Get those guys out and just kind of brace yourself for round 7, take stones back. So purple is a permanent power increase, and we use these white ones for temporary power increases. We found a lot of times, or a temporary power decrease. We'll just put a red dice with it. We found sometimes we didn't know if it was an increase or a decrease, or it was permanent, or whether it was temporary. And so we just use all these different colored dice to depict that. And then finally, we use these brown dice to show whether they have a shield or not. So these guys over here had shields when they showed up, so we put a brown dice on them. And that way, once we kind of established the colors of these dice, we just looked out and we knew exactly what was happening. We didn't have to think, wait a second, was that dice a minus or a plus, or does that stay there, or does it go away? And that way we were just able to put them all on there, and the game went a little bit smoother for us. Something else I wanted to point out was Uh, it wasn't really the case with this game, but most of the time we find out that people are forgetting about Realm 1 over here because it's early in the game. Usually there's a weak wonder over here, then you kind of start focusing on these other realms over here and maybe what's to come at the end here. And you forget there's a weak wonder over here, and you can throw a guy down and take the stone back. Again, it wasn't the case with this game. Nobody was able to play a wonder the first round, so in the second round, this spider came out, which ended up taking the stone, and I never was able to take it back. But don't forget about Realm 1, because a lot of times we get so focused over here, we forget there's a realm over here where you can take some action in. This game has taken some time for us to wrap our heads around because we're just so used to defeating one enemy and thinking about driving down the player's life in Magic the Gathering, or defeating the active Pokemon in that game. We're just so used to this singular focus, where this game, there's so much more going on. And that might sound complicated, but once you learn how to play the game is pretty simple to learn how to play and execute, but there's just so many opportunities for strategy and complexity. And let me explain why. So for example, initially when a guy like this would come out of a power 14, when someone gets a big creature out or something, you kind of get freaked out and think, oh, that's it for me, the game's over. Well, not in this game. That just means that, okay, you have this realm. I'm not going to focus on that realm anymore. Let's look over here and see what other options I have. This guy can't fly. He's not going to move anywhere. I guess you could portal him. There's a couple other options. But it's nice because a powerful enemy doesn't end the game for you. You still have other opportunities. And the whole game, you're doing that. And it just gets bigger and more exciting as the realms open up. And the very last turn, you're just kind of scanning the play area, thinking, where am I going to make my move? Where could I play another wonder to take a stone or to keep a stone? There's just a lot of opportunity for strategy on where you play your wonders and what items you play, and where you make your attacks to try to secure the stones. And we've just been having a ton of fun with that, trying to figure out the strategy and playing some of the different cards. It's just been great. Also, the action and energy balance has been a little bit of challenge to figure out, and that just adds something else to use for your strategy. You typically don't want to leave energy on the board if you can avoid it. Sometimes you don't have a choice. You have cards in your hands that are just too expensive to play, and you don't quite have the energy to play them, and so you end up finding yourself drawing a card or playing a land. But that's what you have to do because you're not able to play one of your cards. I don't remember the name of it, but there's a card where you can hang, like this battery card. You can hang on to your energy until the next round. Super awesome card. If you can have that in your deck, just to save that energy so you don't have to waste it. We're also finding, I mentioned the last round earlier. Initially, when we played, we were using our lands along the way as the realms opened up, just to get an extra turn or two. And we're finding the game is a lot more exciting. Again, tell me what your guys' experience has been. But if you save those land actions for the very end, and we played one game where one person was using their lands throughout the game, the other person saved their lands. So at the end of the game, they had a ton of actions where the other player didn't, and the other player ended up just getting stomped because they had all these extra actions, because the whole game was revealed at that point, and you could make your strategy, and a couple of extra actions went a long way. So we're finding it's better to save these till the end, and it makes that last round super dramatic. And you might think you're going to lose, but with 5 or 6 actions at the end of the game, you draw a couple cards and you get some big guns, and they come out, take a couple stones back, and it ends up winning the game for you. So we've just really enjoyed the excitement of that and all those extra actions in the last round, because then you can just take out everything you got, and away you go. I also have really enjoyed the quick turn sequence of the game. And when I teach people how to play it, they say, wait, that's it? That's all I do? Yeah, that's all you do. And then my turn's quick too, and it's right back to you. And so that's been really exciting because, there's no sitting there and mulling over about the different things you should do on your turn, and should I do some of this, and then some of that, and then some of this, and while the other person's just sitting there waiting for their turn. I take an action, for example, I take an action playing a wonder here, but then I can't attack till my next turn. It gives the opponent an opportunity to respond and say, okay, you put a wonder here, I'm going to put one there that's more powerful, so you don't take the stone. We just really enjoyed kind of that back and forth, really quick back and forth, ending the round. moving on to the next round, watching that energy build, and you got these really expensive cards. We always just stick those in the back. I organize my cards according to energy cost, from lowest to highest. And so I know if I only have 1 or 2 or 3 energy for the first few rounds here, I can only play the guys in the front, or the cards in the front. And then I put the big ones in the back. But I always keep an eye on those, because I know this final round's coming up where I'm going to get a ton of energy, and you just wait, because I got something in my hand that's going to come out. We've just found that's been a lot of fun, really exciting. And I hope you guys are having just as much fun with the game. If you have any tips or anything, I'd love to hear about your tips in the comments. Again, super thrilled for this game to come back. Again, that date is Tuesday, May 14th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Set your alarms for that so you can jump on there, and I'm really excited to see where this game goes. Speaking of strength, I know a couple people I've heard mention that they heard about the game through the Kickstarter being canceled. So who knows? Maybe this will end up being a good thing. Maybe this will kind of spread the word about the game, and the next time it gets going, it's going to be even bigger. Man, that'd be really exciting to see that. But again, guys, the same thing is true with you. If you're facing difficulty, think about this as an opportunity to become stronger. And when you kind of flip that narrative in your mind, instead of stressing out and worrying about this hard thing that's happening to you, think about the strength that you're going to have when you get through this, because you will. Thanks so much for watching, guys. You guys take care.